Get it delivered at wingstop.com.
Order online now from the new Wingstop located at 5001 O Street.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
This is the Happy Hour.
You guys going to happy hour?
Live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert
I want to know what it's like to commit a crime without having to spend time in jail.
and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Good afternoon. Happy Monday. This is the Happy Hour 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary are with you today. Hello, Rico.
Hello.
How's it going, man?
It's going great, dude. You missed the barbershop quartet today.
I saw Jake's post or tweet.
Dude, it was awesome.
I wasn't able to listen to it, but I did see that I missed the quartet. I mean, did you sing with them? Because I know that was a topic of discussion.
No, I did not. We're gonna have a quartet off. It's gonna be me, Jake, Mark, and DP versus an actual barbershop quartet.
It's probably best that you did not.
I think we would have won.
They would have blown you out of the water.
I would have been the
baritone. Is there a certain reason for the Knicks jersey today?
RJ Barrett's been putting in work.
He has.
The Knicks have been trash, but RJ Barrett's been putting in work. So I had to rep RJ Barrett. He hit the game tying 3 to send it into overtime. He dunked on Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook.
How bad is Russell Westbrook?
He is not great.
Bad.
Although everybody on the Lakers is like, hey, we're telling him keep your confidence up. You're a Hall of Famer. Do what you got to do, blah, blah, blah. I don't know how he got so bad at shooting because he wasn't the greatest shooter before.
Like, it's not even close, though.
But he would hit, like, you couldn't leave him open for a 3.
Yeah.
Like, he would hit a couple. And now, if Russ Westbrook's at the 3-point line, everybody's like, go ahead.
We'll let you make one.
Good luck.
It's going to be your only one today.
Like, it's so weird how he got so, like, he fell so fast. But he can still get to the rim. He can still dish out assists, grabber. He's still uber athletic. But just the shot is gone.
Yeah, it's not good. As always, 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line. Both those open for you guys the entire show, as well as the Starter Heyman Jewelers video stream. Feel free to hop in there. As always, a lot to get to today. I want to talk Husker hoops a little bit with you, Rico, because Saturday was rough. Saturday was rough.
When I turned it on,
good.
Nebraska was down by a lot, and I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this.
Yeah, and it feels like the questions regarding future for Nebraska basketball are starting to come up here. I think they have 6 or 8 games left. They only have a few games left. And obviously, I remember having the conversation at the beginning of the season, and it's wild to think about how much it shifted. Because at the beginning of the season, we were looking at kind of I haven't thought about this in depth, so I don't know how much we can talk about it. But comparing it to last year,
so
I don't know how many steps forward they have taken since last year, if they've taken any.
Yeah.
And that was in a COVID season when think about that. That was in a COVID season without your 5-star recruit who's playing extremely well right now.
Mm-hmm.
And also this year is with a Derek Walker who's once again improved individually.
Well, and he's able to play the entire season as opposed to only half of it.
Yes. And Nebraska's not having to play all these games back to back to back to back.
Mm-hmm. You've got time in between them.
Like, it's wild to think about, because I seriously don't know the question. I can do a deep dive later this evening and we can talk about it tomorrow. Maybe that's a good thing to talk with Jacob Padilla about tomorrow afternoon. But I don't know. I can't sit here and say with 100% certainty that they've taken steps forward. Which puts Trev Alberts in a whole lot of mess.
I can say with 100% certainty that they haven't taken any steps forward, but I cannot tell you if they've taken any steps back. They haven't gotten better.
No.
There's a 0% chance that this team has gotten better than they did last year. You can say certain players are playing better,
Bingo.
But overall as a team, they have not improved.
That's a good point.
Over last year's squad.
Okay, a little bit of sidebar here before we continue this. Augie asks, so did I get a Super Bowl square? If so, what do I need to do? Nothing. We got all your information. We got your phone number from the text line, Augie. You are good. You're in the Super Bowl square. Okay, so going back to this, I want to bring up, and this is not to dog the program. I want to make all this clear.
Say something
first.
real quick.
Go ahead.
So if they were to get a one round bye in the Big Ten tournament, I'm just going with the worst team that is more than likely going to get a first round bye. Michigan. 11-9, 5-5 in the conference.
And yeah, don't forget that like the Big Ten conference is extremely difficult.
Currently, the third team in the Big Ten conference is the number 3 team in the country.
Yeah, Purdue.
Yep.
Yeah, Illinois is number 1.
Yep.
In the
13th
conference.
team, Wisconsin second, 14. Michigan State 17 right after Purdue. Ohio State 16 right after Michigan State.
So maybe it was a bit off and wrong of me, because it was when I was doing a solo show to say, oh yeah, first round of the Big Ten tournament, let's get a bye. But also we're on that thought of, okay, you have your best recruiting class coming in, specifically, or I should say, especially underneath this staff. There's no way you have to take steps forward.
Well, right now, if you were to say, I don't think you were out of line thinking that a first round bye would have been great or would have been good, because right now a first round bye, you're 500 in the conference.
Yeah,
like you should at least be 500 in the conference with the amount of talent that you've amassed, and the fact that you're in your third year, and I know you've had to retool your roster 2 of those years.
Yeah,
and you lost your NBA point guard after last season, but to be 500 in the conference, I don't think is that hard of an ask, considering they've been right there in a couple of the games this season. They've been a free throw, 1 missed shot, 1 missed defensive possession away from
take the knife out and just keep stabbing me every single time you give an example.
From having a closer loss or getting a win. Like they've been right there for multiple games. Granted, they've also had 3 30-point losses.
2 not great teams,
but
one of them being on Saturday.
Well, one of them is the number 1 team in the country.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
But still, you've had multiple terrible losses, but you've had multiple really close games. So I don't know what this team is actually, because there are nights where they play extremely well and they have stretches of, oh my gosh, this team is so good. Like, I wonder what's going to happen. And then 5 minutes after that stretch, they fall down a deep, dark hole of Nebraska ball depression and can't find their way out of it and can't make a bucket, can't get a stop. And all of a sudden, what was a 2-point lead is now a 15-point deficit. So the fact that this team is 5 different teams all jammed into one is the main issue, because like I said, with the amount of talent you have, the coaching you have solid coaches on this roster, on the staff, and you can't seem to put multiple consistently good games together. You'll have 2 or 3, and then you'll have an absolute poop burger of a game.
Meme guy says this on the text line. This is a really interesting point. Is this team different if they still have Banton and don't have Verge? Here's what I'll say with this, and then Rico, I want to get your thoughts as well. Obviously, I think Banton really shows, just the last 2 seasons. I think it really shows and exhibits the fact, maybe magnifies the idea that you cannot just plug and play. You can't. Like, Banton did really, really good things for Nebraska that was not scoring the basketball. And people dogged him for not being able to score the basketball. So I feel like that really has magnified the fact that you cannot just plug and play athletes into positions. I think that. Now, with that being said, there have been a lot of times this season where Verge is the reason that Nebraska is competitive. Early on in the season, there were many situations where he was the reason they were not. And then a switch kind of flipped. Like, think about the roller coaster Nebraska fans have been on.
So we have a text here that says, and you kind of played right into it. What are the differences between the Frost situation and the Hoiberg situation? Alonzo Verge, Adrian Martinez.
Yeah.
Like you said, Delano Banton, you can't plug and play. He did some really good things for Nebraska. You see him in the NBA. He got drafted and is playing some significant minutes for the Toronto Raptors, who are a pretty solid team right now. Brendan Hymas, like multiple offensive linemen or multiple players on Nebraska's football team who maybe underperformed at Nebraska, but got drafted, made it to the NFL, and are on a team, actually doing something on an NFL team where when they were here at Nebraska, if you were to ask some people, would this person make it to the NFL and collect some paychecks and actually be on a team? People would have said no.
Yeah.
So the parallels between these two programs is you have all of this talent. You have these players who, scouts and professionals believe can be good players, but for some odd reason, you put them all together at the University of Nebraska and nothing seems to gel correctly. It just doesn't work. And no matter how much skill, how much polish, how much athleticism these young men have, when it gets down to it and they're wearing a Nebraska uniform, it seems as if it's not going to plan. It's not up to par, and it just kind of everything falls flat. But when they move on, it seems as if they have some type of renaissance in their athletic ability, and all of a sudden they know how to play the game of football or the game of basketball.
Is part of that. I mean, you have to. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know every facet of coaching. I'm not going to sit here and do that. And I don't want to turn this into dogging. Once again, I do not want to make this about dogging on the program. I'm simply going to talk about the statistics and the facts that we can pull away from Nebraska's 6-17 season right now. Part of that I feel like goes back to coaching. And here's almost every weekend we see it. And I know college basketball is different than college football in terms of turning a program around. You're dealing with a lot fewer guys with a basketball program. You're dealing with a lot more in football, right? 85 plus with football, and you're dealing with, 14, 15 players on basketball. What I would say, I mean, I turn on the TV and I see Iowa State competing on the road at Kansas under TJ Otzelberger's first year. And I turn on the TV and Bobby Hurley is taking a Arizona State team who lost their top 3 scorers from last season, one of those being Alonzo Verge. They beat UC. They're able to overcome a hump in triple overtime against number 3 UCLA at home. Even when they are 6 and whatever, they were 6 and whatever going into that game. 6-11, 6-12, I think. That seems like a few games. I might be wrong on that. Either way, they had 6 wins. I know that for sure. And I sit there and I'm like, I just think to myself, where does the disconnect, and why is there a disconnect with Nebraska? Because it seems like I look around and all these programs are able to overcome massive turnover and massive attrition like Arizona State. And once again, Arizona State's no top 25 program. I'm not saying that. I know Bobby Hurley has been there for quite a few years, longer than Fred Hoiberg's been at Nebraska. But I just look at how they're able to get their teams to rally together in triple overtime. Think about what happened in Nebraska when NC State and Nebraska went to overtime that one day. Everybody got the feeling, even though they competed and they very well should have had an opportunity to win at the end of regulation with the possible foul, no call, however you want to draw it up. Here's the deal is like every fan that watches Nebraska men's athletics felt, well, here we go again. Nebraska's going to overtime. The likelihood that they're actually able to put together a couple overtime periods is slim. We haven't seen them do it before. It's that thought. Same thing happens with Nebraska football and when you're going into the fourth quarter of a game. All right, Nebraska, you're up 13. It's time to put it together. It's time to stomp on the throat. And then they don't.
Let up.
They just don't. And so I seriously am just so puzzled and confused and frustrated that is the situation that we find ourselves in every single year.
JDP, we're talking about it earlier, how Nebraska men's basketball will do one thing that works that'll get them out of a 15-point deficit. It'll get them to down 5, down 2, tie game, a small lead, whatever, or they'll be up however many points, and they'll be doing something that keeps them up, and they keep scoring and everything. And as soon as one thing happens, or they just decide to go away from it, everything falls apart, and for some odd reason they can't get back to what they were doing that was successful. And they said that, and it just hit, because that's exactly what happens. They'll do everything right for a stretch of time where they just erase a deficit, and you're like, wow, this team looks great. Or they'll get a big lead, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is the Fred Hoiberg team. How many times do we say that in football? This is the Scott Frost team that we were expecting. This is the team that we have been waiting for all season or all game. And then one small, a turnover and a fast break dunk, or a missed 3 from the other team, offensive rebound, put back layup, whatever, just something small, little bit of momentum shifts the other way. They crumble, they collapse, and whatever they were doing to get to that point just gets tossed out the window. And it almost, I don't want to say every time, it almost always goes to ISO for somebody.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who it is, but it's ISO for somebody.
Little movement.
And
elsewhere.
Nobody's moving off the ball, and you're standing and watching. And when the shot goes up, everybody immediately runs back to play defense. And nobody wants to crash the boards. And it's, like you said, it's just frustrating to watch when that happens. And you were mentioning teams that, were pushing other teams. Georgia has 1 win in the SEC. They have 6 wins this season, and they barely lost to the number 1 team in the nation, Auburn. They lost by 2 points, and they have 1 win in conference and 6 wins on the season. It seems as if Nebraska can get to within 2 points on a team like that with about 5 minutes left, and you're like, hey, maybe something will happen, and then they'll end up losing the game by 22.
It's just interesting to see how kind of unraveling process of this program this season, just this season. It's just wild to think about how we were sitting, and I'm guilty of this as much as the next guy.
Same.
Sitting here saying, this is a team that we expect, and like this, the expectation is not high. The expectation is not high.
I mean,
for Nebraska basketball,
maybe I did put it too high. I said NCAA tournament.
I
didn't say win a game.
I said bubble. I said a bubble team, but still, like that's being a top 70 team in the country.
People had NIT.
Yeah.
First round bye in the Big Ten tournament.
Yes, that's being the 8th team in the Big Ten top 8.
Some people just said winning record.
Think about this. Being top 8 in the Big Ten tournament means that you're better than Rutgers, who just got a big win over Michigan State, demolished them. But still, Rutgers, who we would like to think, Nebraska fans would like to think as a bottom feeder, but they are not.
Not in basketball, at least.
Not in basketball. Rutgers, that is also Minnesota under first-year head coach Ben Johnson. You also have Penn State, and
Iowa,
and throw in one other team that is mediocre. Northwestern.
2 teams that
You're
normally
better than
aren't
4 teams.
2 teams that normally aren't mediocre are very mediocre this season in Maryland and Minnesota.
Yeah,
but yeah, if you were to say this season, before the season, if you were to tell me Nebraska is better than Penn State, Northwestern, and Rutgers, I'd have been like, the Rutgers one, I'd be like, I don't know, maybe. But the other 2, I'm like, yeah, Nebraska's better than them.
I'm just sitting here and like the expectations. Once again, we always talk about expectations with all the sports, and like Nebraska fans don't need. I was talking to one of my buddies about this earlier today. Like Nebraska fans don't need much when it comes to basketball to be happy. If you really think about it, Nebraska basketball fans right now, after the last couple of years, don't need much to be happy.
You give them 2 conference wins and they'll be pretty solid.
I don't know about that. Like I'm saying, be top 8.
If you're talking right now, I'm saying 2 conference wins, they'll be solid.
But I'm saying going into the season after your best recruiting class in program history, which once again individually has panned out decently well.
The players are doing well.
Keon Edwards is probably going to take some time off on the bench, rightfully so, and Q McPherson is going to redshirt. Like we understand that, but in terms of Bryce, that's kind of the main one. He's working out well. Freshman of the week again, Bryce McGowan's, and so when you talk about like Nebraska basketball and expectations, Nebraska fans don't need much. Be top 8 in the Big Ten.
Literally middle of the pack.
Like, give yourself a chance when we talk about this, and even the remote conversation of competing in the Big Ten conference tournament. Give yourself a chance. And all you have to do to give yourself a minuscule chance is be top 8 in the Big Ten. Top 8.
You'd be number 8.
And so, is it top 8 or top 10?
It's top 8.
It's top 8.
Because top 4 get 2 buys, next 4 get 1 buy, and then the next 4, or no, then the next 6 play each other.
Okay, thank you. I wanted to make sure I got that right.
6?
Still, okay, that makes it worse if it's top 10. That makes it worse.
6.
Yeah. That makes it worse if it's top 10. You can be top 10. Or excuse me, top 8.
Top 8.
Excuse me. Sorry.
It's fine. We'll get through it. We'll be fine.
We will. Either way, you're just better than 6 teams. And in the bottom of the conference, when you're talking about the Big Ten Conference, 4 wins, maybe 5, maybe 6 on a really, really good year for the whole conference, down top to bottom.
Like I said, right now, 5 wins in the conference has you at 8. That's
and so
Michigan.
It's just wild to think about. Nebraska fans, in terms of basketball, don't need much to be happy. And it's okay that that's the case because there's not much history in terms of recent years. It's not recent history that's Nebraska's friend. And that's okay. But I think Nebraska basketball fans would be pretty happy if their team was a bubble team. And if they're a top 2 seed in the NIT, if they don't make the Big Dance. Like I seriously, and when you put it that way, it's quite depressing. It's really depressing.
Yeah, it's a lot of teams that make the NCAA tournament.
64, 68 if you count the first 4.
That's a lot of teams.
66, excuse me. It's wild. It's wild to think about. Let's keep sending your text, 402-464-5685. Gus, we'll get to yours. Willie, we'll talk to you as well after the break. And any more that send in. I want to break down Nebraska's net rankings. It's going to kind of continue being Husker Hoop stuff. I want to talk about some of their net rankings, their quad, their results from each quad that they've played. Nebraska characterized, I can tell you right now, as a quad 4 program. Nebraska is a quad 4 program. That should surprise nobody, given their record and who they've played and who they've lost to, especially after Saturday. And then I want to talk bigger picture, because like I said at the beginning of the show, the future of Nebraska basketball has kind of come into question in recent days more than it was at the beginning of the season, obviously. And it's not going to be more of a calling for the head of Fred Hoiberg. I'm not doing that at all, because I'll be honest. I don't want to cover. I don't want to talk about a new coach in Nebraska. I want Fred Hoiberg to be the coach, but Trev Alberts is kind of in a bind. And Sip had a really, really good article that kind of a couple things stuck out to me in that one. So we'll talk about some of the things that Trev Alberts must consider when deciding whether or not to make a change in the Nebraska men's basketball program. 402-464-5685. We'll do all that next.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You can search online for hours to find the best electricians in Lincoln and the surrounding area, but I'll save you time. High Electric has been serving their customers for 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They're experts in everything electrical, from remodeling to new additions, hot tub installations, electric vehicle chargers or EV chargers, lighting, ceiling fans, and more. High Electric takes jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at highelectric.com. You spend more time in your garage than outdoors in the wintertime. Isn't it time to get it organized? Call Travis at Classic Garage Solutions for his variety of organization packages. Turn your garage from a cluttered mess to a clean, organized space that'll be the envy of the neighborhood and something you can be proud of. You don't need to bring the same clutter from last year into the new year. Travis has storage options for cabinets, monkey bar shelving, or slat wall, and more. Call Classic Garage Solutions today at 402-730-1638.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill has 2 Lincoln locations that are great for any occasion. If you're downtown for a basketball game or a concert, stop by their newest spot at 10th and P. Don't forget to check out their social media pages to learn about any concerts on stage at Rosie's. If you want to avoid a busy downtown scene, head over to the original Rosie's just south of 14th and Highway 2 for a feeling of your local hometown bar. There's plenty of TVs at both places and great food and drink. What are you waiting for? Rosie Sports Bar and Grill at 10th and P and on South 14th Street.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. And things have obviously been pretty challenging lately with new vehicles, with all the microchip and supply chain issues, but things continue to loosen up as Koppel gets more and more new vehicles in each and every week. We've had many customers also custom order their vehicles. So if you don't see what you want in our current inventory, we can put an order in to get exactly what you want. So go online, reserve your new vehicle at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did.
Old School with DP and J.
And I learned this about the difference between the college game and the NFL. Every play is designed offensively and defensively for one guy to make a mistake, whether it's being out of your gap, forgetting the blitz, forgetting a check on offense, forgetting the snap count. In college, it might be explosive play, 15 yards, whatever you deem as explosive play. The pros,
All of them are house.
all of them are. The guy will hit his head on the goalpost.
93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Casey's General Store is giving you the chance at winning 2 free tickets to a Nebraska home basketball game this season. Stop by any Casey's location in Lincoln throughout basketball season. Enter your name into the registration box, and you'll have a chance to win 2 tickets to an upcoming Nebraska basketball game. Every drawing will occur at least 24 hours before the game that has its selected winner. So make sure to get to any Casey's in Lincoln today for your chance at 2 free tickets for Nebraska men's basketball games.
Mike Shaver here for Trek CBD. There's a lot of CBD shops opening up in Lincoln, but Trek CBD focuses on quality above all else. Their products are from local CBD company Nico Farms and are third-party laboratory tested. They have products that can help with stress, anxiety, pain, relief, and more, and have a wide selection of Delta 8, including Serene 8. Trek CBD is locally owned and operated. Go visit Scott or Shannon at their 84th and Highway 2 location or at 27th and S, or go online to Trek CBD with free delivery. Trek CBD. CBD done right.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $22.07 per hour, and other select jobs starting at $23.77 per hour, with wages growing up to $29.71 per hour. Continental also has salaried jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers is all about the good and creating more of it. More drive-through celebrations, more weekend traditions, more family dinners and lunches, more car picnics and road trips, more desserts, maybe more second desserts, more celebrating being together as much as we can. There's always room for more good and more Freddy's. Keep the good going with a taste that brings you back.
Now back to the happy hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, so Bach and I, we haven't heard Industry Baby for a while. Shout out Industry Baby.
Always and forever.
So Bach and I were just talking actually right before we went on, and we were talking about Nebraska basketball, and Bach was like, Nick, did you see what IUPUI is doing?
IUPUI.
They are holding tryouts for students to play on their basketball team.
I'm sorry, what?
They are holding tryouts to have students try out to play on their basketball team. So it can always get worse.
I'm gonna check IUPUI's record.
They're last in the net. I think they are the worst team
Just give me
in the
one
country.
second.
Go ahead. Who can do it faster?
IUPUI basketball. The Jaguars. They are 12th on the horizon.
Yikes.
They are 0-12, 1-19 overall. They beat
1-19.
somebody.
We could look this up. We can figure out who.
Who did they beat?
They beat Spalding.
Spalding.
The Spalding Golden Eagles, who are 0-1. Well, they were 0-1. It was their first game. We got to figure out who the Spalding Eagles are.
They're Spalding, bro.
Spalding Eagles.
They don't even have a logo, bro.
The official athletics website for the Spalding Eagles. Let's see. Inside Athletics.
Oh my
Sports.
goodness. IUPUI is
Yikes.
so bad.
So the Spalding Golden Eagles are 6-14. They played Miami, Ohio, and they lost 80-56. I got to figure out what
IUPUI has scored over 50 2, 3, 4. Okay, more times than, but they've scored under 50 a lot more times than they should have.
So
they played Ohio State once. They lost 83-37.
Yikes. So Spalding is located in Eureka, Illinois. I'm trying to figure out.
They just
what
lost to Robert
conference they
Morris,
are.
66-49.
I'm trying to figure out what conference Spalding.
They're in the Horizon.
No, Spalding.
Oh, Spalding.
And then we'll get back to Nebraska. Don't worry,
Yeah,
guys.
don't worry. We'll get to it. This is
So,
very important.
They are. Spalding University is a member of the Division III of the National Collegiate Athletic Association. So Spalding is a Division III team. That's the only team IUPUI has beaten.
A Division III team, and
they're 6-14.
Look, they only beat them by 20.
Yeah. Jesse says this on the text line. I figured their only win was against Nebraska. Nice.
Hey, Nebraska.
Isn't it going to be great at some point when Nebraska's able, or we're not able to make those jokes? Wouldn't it be great to get to the point where we're not able to make those jokes?
That'd be nice.
What a refreshing feeling. Just so refreshing. Okay, let's get back to Nebraska a little bit.
Do we have to?
Yeah. So Nebraska Husker men's basketball net rankings update here. I checked this morning because obviously new rankings came out on Mondays. All right, so 402-464-5685, the Honda Lincoln hotline. Feel free to chime in, give us a call, talk to us, anything you want to do. You guys have been great on the text line as well. So the net rankings here. Nebraska is next to Samford and Campbell in the net.
The Campbell Camels.
Yes.
Campbell.
So quad 1 is qualified as the top 30 teams. Quad 2, 31-75. The quad 3 teams ranked 76 to 160. And then quad 4 is below 160 in the net. Nebraska is 0-8 against quad 1, 0-7 against quad 2, 0-1 against quad 3, and 6-1 against quad 4 teams. Can you name their one quad 4 loss? I think early on.
Yeah, the first game of the season?
Western Illinois.
Yeah.
Nebraska.
Whoever that was.
Yeah. Nebraska ranks 192nd in the net. That's where they are at.
That's nice.
Once again, next to Samford, not Stanford, Samford.
I was going to look up the last
and Campbell.
The last team for every quad. You said top 30 is quad 1?
Yes.
Wyoming.
Yikes.
Who was the next one?
75.
75.
That's quad 2.
Toledo.
Okay. What's their record?
17-5.
Oh, wow. Toledo.
Wyoming's is top 30, 18-3.
Now, the reason that we do the net, obviously, that's kind of the ranking system that they go off of when selecting teams.
Yes.
Like you talk about Nebraska women's basketball, you can relate this. Nebraska women's basketball is high up in the net. They're not ranked in the top 25 in the Associated Press.
But they're top 25
But they're
in the
top
net.
25 in the net, which means they are basically a lock, barring some crazy thing to
Crazy
happen.
collapse.
Yeah, that they're going to be an NCAA tournament team. Okay, quad 3, 160th overall.
160th. Troy, 13-7.
13-7.
Mm-hmm.
And then who's last? Because it'd be 160 to
The very
300
last
and whatever.
team. Ooh. You were right. IUPUI.
IUPUI.
0-19. Right behind
Yeah,
Delaware
because
State.
their one win against
That's a Division III team.
Spalding does not count.
Nope.
It's like Nebraska and don't.
Wow. These teams are bad.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, the first team with 6 wins, which is what Nebraska has, is 341st, which is Central Connecticut State. They are 6-18.
Richie Rich on the text line says, folks, guys, we are on the bubble of being the 200th ranked team. Well, so get this,
I
Richie.
see what you did there.
Get this. Last week, Nebraska was ranked 202nd in the net. They moved up 4 spots.
Woohoo.
Why? Because one of their losses is now qualified as a quad 2 loss instead of a quad 3.
My goodness.
So
Nah,
Nebraska
I'm looking for-
gets bumped up 4 spots.
I'm looking for the worst Power 5 team, Power 6 team.
Ooh, that's interesting. I wonder if you have to go. I'm going to guess around like 230.
Because the MAC isn't a Power 6.
No,
No.
it's Big East and then the normal 5.
Big East and the normal 5. Okay.
I'll kind of gander as we go along here as well.
Okay, you keep talking. I got you.
So what's interesting, I want to, Rico will get back to this on that here. What's really interesting about the whole Trev Alberts in a bind, I said this quote to Rico.
I found it.
Go ahead.
244th. Oregon State, 3-17.
All right. At least Nebraska's not Oregon State.
At least Nebraska's not Oregon
I remember.
State.
Okay, so let's see. Okay, let's make a new little experiment out of this. How many Big 6 Power 6 teams are between Oregon State and Nebraska? So Oregon State's 1. I'm scrolling up here. The next team from the Power 6, Georgia at 205.
But they just took the number 1 team to a 2-point loss.
Here's the thing. They have a quad 1 win.
Mm-hmm.
Nebraska does not.
And then Nebraska.
So Georgia and then Nebraska. So Nebraska is the 3rd lowest team in the net in the Power 6.
The 3rd worst Power 6 conference team.
Yeah. So here's this. The meme guy says this. IUPUI beat a school that is legitimately called East West University a week ago today.
That's not a real university. That's a Key and Peele skit.
No, we gotta.
That's a Key and Peele skit university.
We gotta look this up.
No way that's real. Where do you go? I go to East West University.
East West. Oh no.
Is it real?
It's in Chicago.
Oh my goodness.
East West University educates students to participate in a global society, a pioneer in diversity.
East West
Phantoms
University.
Basketball. Oh,
Hingleman Kringleberry.
They got sick jerseys though.
East West University.
Oh, here's this.
Dance.
First thing. What is that one? It's like Nevada State Penitentiary.
Colorado State Penitentiary.
If you have not seen the East-West Bowl game on YouTube, Key and Peele, go check it out. Okay, so I look up the Phantom thing. The first article that pops up. Are you ready for this, Rico?
Go ahead.
East-West University's men's basketball tryouts start October 8th, 4:30 p.m., 2nd floor, East Building Gymnasium. They have time out. They have a picture of their roster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dudes. They have 7 guys.
What's their tallest guy?
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. They probably don't have a roster.
This is necessary, everyone.
I'm sorry.
All right? Would you rather us talk about depressing Nebraska basketball or find out about the worst teams in the NCAA?
They don't have
A roster?
online.
Honestly,
Quick
that
links.
is acceptable.
Quick links. There is nothing.
That is acceptable. They have tryouts. They would have to. You have tryouts. You have to add people. The thing is, you have to go through like the NCAA paperwork, and you got to sign some things and do all that. That's kind of a mess.
Oh, what a tragedy for East West University.
IUPUI has no wins because 2 of their wins have come against teams not
They've
the Division
they've come
1
against
ranks.
East West and what was it called? Spalding.
Like
the basketball.
They're not. They're such a small cause. They aren't even in the NCAA. They are in the USCAA. I don't know what that is, but congratulations.
All right, time to look it up.
Google is getting a masterclass in Google today on the happy hour. You're welcome, folks.
Okay, so the United States Collegiate Athletic Association. Okay, I've heard of this one. United States Collegiate Athletic Association is a national organization for the intercollegiate athletic programs of 77 small colleges, including community and junior colleges across the United States. The USCAA holds 15 national championships and 2 national invitationals annually.
Damn it, Gus.
Okay.
Guys, you're talking about the same thing. Worst NCAA teams in Husker basketball.
Yikes.
Oregon State at least made a run last year, says an unnamed texter. That is true.
They did.
And then they fell off a cliff, apparently.
I wonder, did they change coaches? Oregon State. This shows you that when we make a plan, I mean, we just kind of go.
Yeah. Also, kind of forgot Tom Crean was the head coach at Georgia until I looked it up.
Tom Crean is a very weird looking dude if you actually think about it.
Yes. He's got a weird sized head.
He's got a weird sized head, big eyes, glasses that kind of magnify his eyes a little bit if you're looking at him.
Forehead also.
Yeah, it's weird. Okay, so
weird looking guy.
Oregon State basketball coach. Let's just look at this here. Wayne Tinkle.
Good old Coach Tinkle.
Okay, so they have his phone number on the website. Interesting.
That sounds awful.
Yeah. So he's been at Oregon State he's been at Oregon State for 7 years, was previously the coach at Montana. His overall record over Oregon State's time, 113 and 109.
Oh, I was going to say he is like 10 games over 500.
Listen to this. So last year they were 20 and 13. The year before, 18 and 13. The year before, 18 and 13.
Oh my goodness.
The year before, 16 and 16. 2 years before that, 19 and 13.
Yo, Tinkle, what happened, bro?
Wayne, what you doing, man?
Wow. They must have lost a boatload of people.
They had to. That's disappointing.
Wow, I'm sorry.
Sorry
Coach
about
Tinkle.
the Beavers, man. That's a shame. Okay.
What a shame.
Yeah, what a shame for Oregon State and for Coach Tinkle over there. All right, let's get to break. We'll continue this conversation. Oh yeah. Okay, timeout. We just found the IUPUI tryout flyer.
Did we?
Okay. IUPUI men's basketball just tweeted this out. Says, we're looking for IUPUI students interested in joining the team for the home stretch of the season. Email Aaron Evans at whatever at IU.
Please don't read the email.
Well, they can find it on Twitter.
Yeah, probably.
IUPUI men's basketball open tryouts for the remainder of the 2022 season. Send an email to coaches that includes you must be a full-time IUPUI student. It needs your NCAA ID, your IUPUI student ID number. You must have a completed physical within the last 6 months. You must have health insurance, and you must have medical paperwork. And you can try out to be an IUPUI basketball player. That's unreal. They have a cool arena for an 0-19 record and 2 wins against East West and Spalding. I gotta remember it's like the basketball brand. All right, let's take a break. Call now 402-464-5685. We'll do Nick's trivia. Here's the question, so you can get your Googling fingers out. Alexis Markowski once again wins Big Ten Freshman of the Week. How many times has the freshman from Lincoln Pius X High School won Big Ten Freshman of the Week? 402-464-5685. Give us the answer. You win $15 to the Upside Bar and Lounge. We'll do that next on Happy Hour.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Buffalo Wings and Rings, they've crafted a new league of superior chicken sandwiches. Meet the Ringers. It's premium, house-made, beer-battered, fried chicken served buffalo, Korean, or MVP style. Head to Buffalo Wings and Rings Lincoln and raise a glass to superior chicken. 2 locations at 68th and O and at 40th and Old Cheney. Buffalo Wings and Rings. Rosie Sports Bar and Grill has 2 Lincoln locations that are great for any occasion. If you're downtown for a basketball game or a concert, stop by their newest spot at 10th and P. Don't forget to check out their social media pages to learn about any concerts on stage at Rosie's. If you want to avoid a busy downtown scene, head over to the original Rosie's just south of 14th and Highway 2 for a feeling of your local hometown bar. There's plenty of TVs at both places and great food and drink. What are you waiting for? Rosie Sports Bar and Grill at 10th and P and on South 14th Street.
You can search online for hours to find the best electricians in Lincoln and the surrounding area, but I'll save you time. iElectric has been serving their customers for 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They're experts in everything electrical, from remodeling to new additions, hot tub installations, electric vehicle chargers or EV chargers, lighting, ceiling fans, and more. iElectric takes jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at highelectric.com.
Tune in to the Teammates Mentoring Hour each Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. Hear stories from the program started by Tom and Nancy Osborne and how it's changed mentors and mentees' lives and how you can be involved. The Teammates Mentoring Hour, Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 o'clock on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You spend more time in your garage than outdoors in the wintertime. Isn't it time to get it organized? Call Travis at Classic Garage Solutions for his variety of organization packages. Turn your garage from a cluttered mess to a clean, organized space that'll be the envy of the neighborhood and something you can be proud of. You don't need to bring the same clutter from last year into the new year. Travis has storage options for cabinets, monkey bar shelving, or slat wall, and more. Call Classic Garage Solutions today at 402-730-1638.
This is your High School Minute.
With your Southeast Community College High School Minute, I'm Harrison Arns. In basketball this week, Lincoln Pice the 10th, who sits at 13-6, beat North Platte 84-47. Jack Hastrader led all scorers with 17 points in the win. Pius will look to make it 4 wins straight in their game against Lincoln East, who sits at 10-5 on Friday. Waverly got an overtime win against Bishop Neumann 54-51. Beatrice beat Norris 46-31. In girls basketball, Lincoln Northeast won over Lincoln North Star 48-28. And on Wednesday, Waverly lost to Bishop Neumann 47-33. In recruiting, after a record-breaking football season, Noah Walters has signed with Division I program North Alabama. He will be the 11th player from Nebraska to join a D1 football program next fall. This has been your High School Minute, sponsored by Southeast Community College, with locations in Lincoln, Beatrice, and Milford. Learn more today at southeast.edu.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Breezy but very mild here for our Monday. We'll top out near 60. Northwest winds will be around 15 to 20. Plenty of sunshine, then mainly clear tonight. The low dropping down to around 32. A few passing clouds tomorrow, windier, as northwest winds could gust over 30 with a high of 58. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Today on Hey Culligan, why does your team stink? Here's Coach Waters.
Hey, Culligan. Yeah, my team stinks.
Ooh, harsh.
No. I mean, they stink. They won't hit the showers because it makes their skin all dry and itchy.
Coach, it sounds like your guys have been hit hard by hard water.
You kidding me? Hard water?
Yep, so let's call an audible in the form of one Culligan Smart High-Efficiency Water Softener to get the smooth back in their skin and the stink out of your team.
Okay, Culligan, I'm putting you in.
Coach, we're already on the way. Go to CulliganLincoln.com and schedule your free water test today.
Casey's General Store is giving you the chance at winning 2 free tickets to a Nebraska home basketball game this season. Stop by any Casey's location in Lincoln throughout basketball season. Enter your name into the registration box, and you'll have a chance to win 2 tickets to an upcoming Nebraska basketball game. Every drawing will occur at least 24 hours before the game that has its selected winner. So make sure to get to any Casey's in Lincoln today for your chance at 2 free tickets for Nebraska men's basketball games.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, so I was debating during the break whether or not I should read this text.
Don't.
I have to.
Don't.
We have to.
Nicholas, I will cut your mic.
Gus has no chill.
That's all you need. Gus
wants to trade that man to IUPUI.
Rude. You can't trade people in the NCAA.
And that's stretch it to IUPUI, man. That's not fair.
Come on,
that's
man.
Not fair.
It is spelled right. IUPI.
That's awesome. All right, 402-464-5685. Honda Lincoln Hotline. Call now. $15 to the Upside Bar and Lounge. So we'll also do the Super Bowl squares at this time. You can text in, and we already have our 2 winners, Richie Rich and Casey H. Congratulations, you guys got the correct answer. So you guys now have 2 Super Bowl squares for today. Let's go to the phone lines. We have Ted on the Honda Lincoln Hotline calling in for $15 to the Upside Bar and Lounge. All right, Ted, how's it going, man? How's your Monday going?
Oh, it's not too bad.
Good. All right. So Alexis Markowski selected as Big Ten Freshman of the Week this week again. How many times has Alexis been Freshman of the Week this season?
I'm going to guess 9.
I'm sorry, that's incorrect. The second caller dipped.
Well, bye, second caller. You can still win
AJ,
$15
you left.
to the Upside Bar and Lounge.
Yeah.
The ones on the text line were the ones that won the Super Bowl squares. So you can still get your money and go get you a jalapeno cream cheese burger.
Bingo. Dude, okay, so
at the Upside.
While we're waiting for another caller, I hit big on Keno this weekend, Rico.
Never stop playing the game you love.
Never stop playing the game you love.
How big are we talking? Like enough to give your co-host a reasonable tip for being such a great co-host?
There would be.
Oh, well, I'll be waiting for that.
I got lucky a couple times, and it was all just off the scores of basketball games. All right, let's go to Austin. Austin, how's it going, man?
Going well. How are you?
Good. Oh, you still there? All right, Austin's done.
Austin's doing so well he hung up on us. Dang, Austin.
Just three before the decimal. So, all right, call, folks.
Wow.
Okay, we've had like 2 people drop off.
Yeah. Also, Big Slim, I appreciate the text. You should save that for Friday.
Yeah, we're gonna move that to
when we
Friday.
have the tip jar.
We're gonna move that to Friday.
Big Slim. Then you can help it stay alive.
Did it stay alive for one more week?
It barely made it, man. It was
all right.
It was struggling for a second there.
All right, call, folks. 402-464-5685. This is weird because like we've had participants, they've just dropped off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
So
I hope they didn't actually drop. Please tell me you're okay, Austin.
Yeah. Austin and AJ, call back.
Austin, dear God, please call.
Not to play the game, just to tell us you're okay.
Please tell me you're fine.
Let's go, Rich. Rich, how's it going, man?
Hey, it's good.
Good. All right.
5 times.
I'm sorry, that's incorrect. That was quick.
Dang.
All right. We're getting
That was the quickest wrong.
Didn't even let me get the question out. All right, we got Ken. Ken on the Honda of Lincoln hotline. Ken, how's your Monday going?
Good. How about you?
Good, man. Do you know how many times Alexis Markowski has won Big Ten Freshman of the Week?
I believe it's 6.
That is right. She has won it 6 times. Congratulations, Ken. You win $15 to the Upside Bar and Lounge. Hang on the line. Somebody will get your information here momentarily.
Great. Thank you.
Appreciate you, Ken.
She's so good.
She is very good. Bryce McGowan's.
Bruce McGowan's.
Also another Big Ten Freshman of the Week for him. How wild is it going to be if Nebraska gets both Big Ten Freshman of the Year and they are 6-25 on the year and 0-20 in the conference?
How about we don't talk about that? I think I like that idea.
Nebraska
like
women's
it's cool. Like it's
basketball's
cool.
winning.
Like it's cool because you know the women are gonna. The women are.
Oh,
wait a minute there. The women are going to be great. They're going to be in the NCAA tournament. They're going to have the Big Ten Freshman of the Year. And then the men are going to be nowhere close to any type of tournament, and they are going to have the Big Ten Freshman of the Year. So it's cool. Yeah. It's fine. But they will also be nowhere close to a tournament and have a lottery pick. Yeah. So,
all right, so what did we learn today in the last 30 seconds? Nebraska is not IUPUI. You're happy Nebraska is not IUPUI.
Nebraska is better than Oregon State and Georgia.
You're happy that Nebraska is not East-West University.
That also.
And not Spalding.
There are 2 universities holding tryouts for regular students to become basketball players.
Yes. IUPUI being one of them. All right. We're done for today. Appreciate you guys hanging out. We'll continue this discussion tomorrow and then talk to Jacob Padilla. See ya.
Adios.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill has 2 Lincoln locations